Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda and I love crafting, shopping, decor and makeovers. Thanks for tuning in. So a couple of weeks ago we had some fabulous weather and I was out in the garden enjoying all the lovely flowers that had come out for spring, and I was looking around and I thought it needs a little bit of a makeover. So I'm just sitting here enjoying the garden, planning my ideas. So I have decided to upcycle some things. So those chairs actually that I was sitting down on the garden looking at, I'm going to do the makeover on those. I'm definitely going to move a few things around and also get some new bits and pieces and try and make it look sort of brand new garden. Obviously the garden's well established, so can't make too many changes down there, but I'm definitely going to make some changes on the patio. So this week I thought I'd show you all bits and pieces that I've bought and some projects that I've started to do, and then next week I'll show you sort of like the final reveal and how it all turns out, because I didn't want to do a super long video because I like to keep it nice and short. So I'm doing it in a two-parter. So those chairs are going to get a makeover. I did like them down there, but to be honest, didn't sit down there very often. So I thought I will have them up on the patio, and I'm going to get rid of some of the chairs. These blue ones here, I've sold those on Facebook Marketplace already, so they've gone. So, you know, and the table and chairs are we're going to get rid of as well. So I've been going to the car boots and I picked up this great lovely piece of greenery for £3, and I thought I would do a little makeover on the arbour. So I've painted it grey. It was green before, and then I cut that plastic foliage into two and created a nice little coverall. I had grass in there before, and I think it just looks lovely, you know, nice and fresh, and it just covers that hole up that is unnecessary, and it makes it feel cosy in there. Might have noticed these lights on the finished arbour I just showed you there. They're hot air balloon ones, and I also grabbed this super duper hanging watering can. I've always wanted one, and it was brilliant when I saw them in Home Bargains. So these are the hot air balloons. They're really super light plastic, and they look like little hot air balloons, obviously, and they've got little twinkling lights in them. And they're just, I can't remember how much there was, but there wasn't a lot of money from Home Bargains. So I'm going to put those out to charge up in the sun. You need to get them charged up as soon as possible. I've got a separate little charger, which I will be able to put onto the fence, and then I'll be able to hang those out onto the arbour. And then the watering can, super cute, comes with its own little shepherd's hook to hang it on. And there was a bit of a trend a few years ago where people got like watering cans and put twinkly lights coming out of them. Well, obviously there's no need for that now because, you know, places like Home Bargains have come up with one that, or, you know, just put it together yourself. I think it was $4.99 or something like that. So it's a great price. And it will look fantastic in a plant pot or a trough or something like that. So that's the hanging bit twinkles that you can arrange. You can bend them as you need to, and that's the watering can. And this is the little shepherd's hook. You just screw it together, and then it comes out like this. I'm just going to push it in the ground here just to try it out, and then I'm just going to hang the watering can on. I actually realised after I did this little shot that there is a little clip on the shepherd's hook to attach the watering can, so it looks like it's leaning better. So again, they've thought of everything. So it does dangle on, but as I say, you can actually secure it in place so it looks like it's constantly in a poured location. And then I put it here in the trough, so that's where it's probably going to end up. So obviously come back next week and you can have a look at it hanging and in the dark. Then I went to Primark and got these super cute little florals. They were £3.50 I think they were. I'm sure they came up a little bit cheaper at the till. I don't know why. And then this pot, £1.80. I love the design, the tropical design. They have got some for £1 as well. And I almost got another couple to have quite a few, because you could have lots of these. But I thought I'd just go with the two, see what I think. And if I want to, I can always go back and get some more, because I'm going to put them on the fence, where just to add a bit of interest and colour, because I have put previously some greenery on the fence to make it look a little bit more interesting, less boring wood-like. But I thought this would add another element to it. And another little idea I had was this lovely little coffee table from IKEA. It was £19. I actually have it in the living room, and I thought, why not use it in the garden? So I'm going to get rid of the big table that we've got, because we never sit at it. And I thought a little coffee table will do the trick. It's super easy to put together. I do it completely by myself, don't need two people. It's nice and sturdy. Now, it does have a shelf on the bottom, but I actually decided for the garden that I don't need to put the shelf on the bottom, because, it's just as good as it is. So that actually is a marker for putting the shelf on the bottom, screwing the holes in, but I don't need to use it. But I thought I would just show you the one I've got in the living room with the shelf on, just so you can see what you could do. So you put those little screws in, and then you sit the shelf on it. And I have still got the shelf and the screws, so if I do change my mind, I can put the shelf on. But as I said, I think for the back garden, £19. It's nice, easy material as well. I don't think it'll get ruined by the rain, although I will cover it up if it does rain a lot. It doesn't matter if it just gets a little shower. So just taking a few more things that I've picked up. I got this fabulous walnut finish side table. It's £10. It's not actually for the garden, but what it is going to go in my office, because I have in my office a glass table with a peacock on that is actually a garden table. So I'm going to swap them over. So that will go in my office, and then I'll bring the garden table outside. I got this lovely decorative wall art for £8. They had butterflies, which is this one, and they did also have dragonflies. So if you did want to get two, there is a choice, and that'll just go on the wall somewhere, again, just to add some extra interest. And then I've picked up some new seat pads, some coastal seat pads, £8 for a pack of two. I did get previously 4 seat pads for £12 from Dunelm a couple of years ago. So it's a little bit pricey, but to be fair, they are a lot spongier and more comfortable. So hopefully that'll be good. And then I also did get this make your own arrangement foliage. I might not use it in the garden, actually, but I just picked it up on my visit to B&M, so I just thought I would share it. I do love those make-your-own floral arrangement things. And then I got a couple of pots, because if you watched my video last week, I went to the garden centre, so I needed some new pots. So I got this lovely rattan effect pot. I actually got those 2 smaller ones. Oh, and I also got some paint there. That's actually going to help me upcycle the chairs. And I also got this summer cup, which I thought was pretty cute as well. And the pots I was just saying, I have actually got a larger one as well. So I did pop back to B&M and I got a larger one. So I've actually got 3 of those rattan effect pots. In fact, I'll probably show you, because I'm going to plant up the plants now for you. Last week's video, I did show you all the plants that I picked up from the local garden centre. Got a couple of lavenders, some begonias, some geraniums, and that lovely osteospermum. So I've got to plant them all up. So I've got those 3 new pots. I've got a couple of pots I already had, and then I got some bags of compost, also actually from B&M. I got a big bag of compost for $5.99. I think you could get a slightly smaller one for $2.99. But all of the shops do the compost, all of the cheaper shops. But I thought, well, as I was at B&M, I would get it while I was there. So this is the £6 pot that I got. So it matches the £4.50 pots. And then it'll just add a little element of a different size and shape. And you can see there that there's a little plug in the bottom that you could just pull out, which is great. So I've just taken them out so the water will go out. But if I ever did want to put faux plants in it, I can just put the plug back in. So I'll just put the plugs in an envelope, label it up, and keep those for when I've finished with the pots. So there's my all-purpose compost. And as I said, I just got to decide how to plant the plants up, whether to go with a couple in a pot or, keep one to a pot. It's hard to know, really. I suppose you have to plant them up and then see how it goes, maybe change them. The big lavender, I'm going to give it a pot of its own. I think that looks beautiful and it already smells amazing. I really do love lavender. I've given the geranium a pot of its own as well, because that'll probably get quite big. So actually I gave both geraniums a pot of their own. So that's the new pot sorted. And then the old pot I had, I've put the begonias in. I put 4 in one pot. And then the other 2 that I had, I've put in the trough. So I've just split those up and then put them in my trough. I had this tiny little piece of rosemary that, funnily enough, had come off my rosemary plant and sprouted in another pot. So I've put it in a little pot to see if it takes off by itself. And then I've put the osteospermum in a pot by itself, and one of the lavenders, in fact both of the lavenders, I've given them a pot each, and then if they get bigger I'll have to get them a bigger pot. So that's everything potted up for now. I've just put it there, put them all together, but I will move them about. I probably will keep them in a little collection because I think it's nice to keep them together. And there's the begonias that I've put in the trough. There's one at the back and one at the front. So I think those will just add a bit of nice. And there's the watering can. It's on its slant, and there's the rosemary as well. So that's going to add a bit of colour there. And I just want to keep the areas, where the plants are, together. So using my black paint, I have painted up those chairs that were green. They used to match the arbour. So now as I've changed the arbour, I might as well change the chairs. So I've painted them with this paint. And also while I was doing it, I noticed that this needed a little bit of a freshen up. So this is the parasol stand, and the paint's for wood and metal. So I thought I would give that a little spruce up as well. And it's come up an absolute treat. It looks like a brand new parasol holder now. So that's a nice little simple thing you can do just to liven things up. I mean, doesn't it look fabulous? And actually the detail really stands out again now. So I'm really pleased with how that's turned out. And then obviously I will show you the chairs finished when I do the finished walk round. So as I say, that was the colour they was, and then I've just painted them. I did have to use a little bit of spray paint as well, just to get in some of the gaps, because it was quite hard to paint it. And I'm actually going to wrap the handles as well. I've got some black tape, and I shall wrap the handles. So come back next week to see how those turn out and how the rest of the garden turns out. I'm very excited to share it with you. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you have subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, please consider doing so. Give me a like, drop me a comment, because I do love to hear from you. So, until next week, take care. Bye-bye.